I just picked up this pressure washer for 30 bucks. Now the catch is that the pump doesn't work. The guy told me that the motor does work. It's a Honda 5.5 horsepower motor. It's a GX 160, which is a really good motor. Now what's happening is when you go to pull it over, it's jammed. You can't even turn the motor over. So what I'm going to do is take the pump off and hope that it's not the motor. Hopefully I've got a good motor like the guy said, and we'll see what's going on inside the pump. I do know that they ran the pump without any oil in it because I don't see any oil in the eyeglass here. So probably something's going on inside the pump. To take the pump off, there's 4 bolts, 2 on top and 2 at the bottom over here. Already got these partially removed. Now these are 13mm bolts. Now once the bolts are removed, if you cannot pull the pump out by hand, you'll notice that there's a notch on each side of the pump. One on that side and one on the other side. So you would insert both screwdrivers on each side and then twist them and the pump should come out like this. Now that I have the pump off, I'm curious to see if I got a good motor out of this deal. Now without the pump, I can pull it over, so that's a good sign. So I'll take it outside and start it up. Hopefully it'll go. Well, let's hope for the best. Well, that's awesome. That motor runs really good. I'd have to say that's one of the best deals I've made in 2010. So let's head back in the garage and diagnose that pressure washer pump. So I've got the pump here on my worktop. First of all, here's the model number of that pump, LWD-K 3020. It's made in Italy. There's a number under there, 29290-303, and it's a Comet pump. Now the first thing that doesn't sound good about this pump is if I shake it, you can hear noise inside. So that's not a good sign. So I've got the pump on its side like that, and I'm going to first of all take off this cover here by removing the 4 Allen bolts. Now let's prop this cover open and see what's going on. Wow. And look at the damage in there. Everything's broken. So I guess when I saw that the eyelet didn't show any oil, I guess they did run it without oil and busted everything. I'm going to try to remove this whole camshaft by removing the cover here. Now I've got to remove this snap ring here from the shaft. I don't take these apart often, so I think I have to remove this collar over here by taking off the 4 Allen bolts you see here. So here's the last bolt, and the collar should come off. All the broken pieces of metal you see inside here are actually stopping the shaft from getting out, so I gotta get all these out of there. I'm gonna try the drywall screw trick to try to remove the seal. Now make sure when you put the drywall screw that it's gonna hit the edge of the bearing so the screw doesn't just screw into the void. So that was easy. You can apply the same principle on oil seals on crankshafts of lawnmowers and different engines. So it's too bad I had to sacrifice it, but if I'm going to repair the pump, I may as well put a new one. Now as you can see, there's a big snap ring in there that needs to be removed. Make sure to use a good pair of snap ring pliers for that. And I've got to set it for an internal one, so when I squeeze, it's going to squeeze the ring internally. They can be a bit of a pain. What a mess. Not sure if this camshaft will still be good. I'll have to try to scrape off the pieces of aluminum off of it, see if it's still good. Now you can see inside there it's just crushed to a million pieces. That's what's left in there. Now I'm going to quickly take off the front part of the pump to see what's going on over here. So just take off all the Allen bolts here. I'm going to tap it out. Now I've taken this nut off this little piston here, and the whole thing just shattered to pieces. Now I'm going to pull it out from here. And you can see that the sleeve is shattering here. This one's broken as well. So all I'm going to do at this point is leave everything together like that, so that if I do repair it, I'm putting each piston in the original cylinder that they came out of. Now for the water pump part, I removed this earlier just by pulling on the metal part. Try not to destroy the oil seal when you remove this. I would imagine that this part here you have to buy as a whole piece. It doesn't seem to come apart, and there's 3 of them. Also on the inside here, this part comes out, and it's some kind of hard plastic part, and it comes apart like that. So I'm just going to stick everything back in there like that for now. Now if I was to rebuild the pump, probably I would replace those. Now if I take off the bolt here, all I see in here is some kind of valve guide, like that. There's an O-ring at the bottom. I'll just stick the covers back on. I don't want to have parts everywhere so they don't get lost. And if I take off the bolts over here, on this side, it's the same part in here as well. Now I can take off the handle here. There's a spring that came out of here. This bolt here comes off. And this is some kind of adjustment valve. And that looks good in there. The O-ring looks good. So I'm just going to stick this back in for now. Apparently the guy who had this pressure washer put some new parts in it, but I'm not sure which parts he did put in. So if I was to repair this pump, I wouldn't mind getting the 3 seals here. I would have to buy this oil seal here. I would have to buy the pistons that go on the rods here. I would buy new O-rings that go here as well. Also, I would need the connecting rods that go from the crankshaft or camshaft that powers up the pistons. They're all broken. Now the bearings look good, they feel good. Here's the crankshaft or camshaft, whatever it's called. I think I can clean off the metal that's on the lobes there, so probably I can reuse this part. Again, it's a Comet pump, model LWD-K 3020, number 29290-303. So what I'm going to do, because that seems to be a good high pressure pump, I'm going to price out the parts. If it's not too expensive, I'll repair the pump and I will make a video showing you how to rebuild that. If you don't see a video, it's because I've decided not to repair the pump because it wasn't worth it for me. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.